So I wanted to do a quick demonstration on doing a running stitch and sewing these stamped blocks by hand. And I've chosen my fabrics, and you can see how they're going to go around the center here like this. So I am going to just take my center and one of the blocks and that matching edge. I have a needle and thread that is loaded up and the thread is knotted. I'm going to go through and start from the back side, and I'm going to use my corner there as my mark, and I'm going to go through just one stitch really quickly, and then what you do is I will also at this point just back stitch. And the purpose of back stitching that is that it will sort of give it a knot so it doesn't want to come undone. And then I'm just holding those two pieces together, and with the running stitch it's really simple. You can really load up your needle with 4 or 5 and then pull it through, and it's actually pretty fast. And I like this method better than the English paper piecing because that whip stitch is very time consuming. And so sometimes I'm on a road trip and I have a block and put them into packets, and I can sew in the car or sew while I'm waiting somewhere. And then when you get to the end, the same thing. What you're going to do is just do a little back stitch, and then you're going to pull these 2 layers apart here and just come up through that corner there, because we're going to come up through as you turn the corner, you're going to come up through and add your next fabric piece. So this is going to be my next piece I'm placing there like that. And I'm going to come up through, go behind and come up through that corner like that. And you're just going to work your way around the center. And again, I just want to give a little back stitch on that to secure that, and then continue by loading my needle with that running stitch and work your way to the next corner. And then do that back stitch, only coming up through that fabric there on the one, and pull back the other layer and add your next piece like so, and continue on around. So by hand sewing, I have worked my way around the center hexie, and then now I am going to work on finishing up and sewing up the common sides of that first row of hexies. And every time you turn the corner, you want to just give it a stitch and then back stitch one, and then just start doing your running stitch all the way to the end. You can load anywhere from probably 4 to 5 pieces, and you're taking about an 1/8 inch or less onto your needle, and then you come to the edge and do the same thing where you back stitch one to secure it. And at this point you're going to be adding another color, and you just bring it up in between the 2 layers of fabric, and then take your outside hexie that's going to go like this, and we're going to start sewing that edge there, and continue adding whatever rows or designs that you've created onto it. And stitch forward one and then back stitch, and just continue on. And also the secret to it being smooth is don't pull your thread too tight or you're going to get puckering. So just give it a tug when you've gone through those stitches before you continue on, and work your way to the corners. And I've had a couple friends, they actually like sewing by hand. One doesn't even sew with a machine. The sewing machine scares her, and she has been making a beautiful quilt out of these. She's gotten to the point where she's sewn all her hexie blocks and is now sewing them into rows. And so even if you don't consider yourself much of a sewer on the machine, this running stitch is a really simple way to do it quicker than the English paper piece.